Hello, everybody. It's Brett, your thankful carnivore and medium, and here with Kate, my friendly comrade in arms on this wonderful podcast we call Orna's Garden. How you doing, Kate?
I'm good. Excited for this week's episode. It's going to be a
Excellent. Excellent. So we had some pre-recording discussions, and we are going to discuss the issue of learning how to receive, whether it's compliments, whether it's gifts. How do we receive? And I used to have a real big problem with receiving positivity. Uh, it took me a long time after I got well, a couple of years to just, somebody would hear me play guitar. Man, you're really a good guitar player. And I would always, out of fear, I know now, of getting the big head, I would downplay it. And they would almost inevitably not want to come see me play anymore. Imagine that. He didn't accept my compliment in a positive manner. I don't think I'll listen to him anymore. And it was quite the realization that I needed somebody compliments you. It's proper and polite and good for you to say thank you and mean it without being like, something. I know there's something wrong with me, so there must be something wrong with you too to think such a thing. That was how twisted my thinking was at that time. How's that issue played out in your life?
mine I have a pretty this is one that I'm still working on is how to receive. And mine tends to be deeper in like how do I receive support? Like how do I receive love? I mean, I sort of had like a lot of deep programming around like if you have to accept or receive something, then you're not strong enough, or that's a sign of weakness, or just actually physically uncomfortable. And then if we get into like reality creation, which I don't know, I've heard this quite a lot in my journey, is that like, you don't get things from people, like you're getting them from the universe, you're getting them from creator, but like people are the conduit. But I have a really hard time differentiating, because it's like, oh, well, I can receive that from like, say, my dad, but I can't receive that from a friend. Like I can't receive support in this area of my life, but maybe I can receive support in this area. And then, but what that does is, like how you are is how you do everything. And so when you're blocking receiving in one area, it tends to actually be across the board. So I'm actually really excited to see what Orna and Creator have to say today about like the problems we have with receiving, how to receive, how to make this easier, why it's even important to make this like a pretty integral aspect of your life. And yeah, I for one struggle with it, so I'm excited to see what happens.
I used to struggle with it significantly. Um, Event after a period of time, I finally realized I'm a pretty good guitar player, and when people compliment me on my musicianship, I should accept that with joy because I worked really hard to be able to play at that level, and it's and it got to the place to where when I was beginning my musical career, I really needed that feedback from people. But then after I matured and stopped being crazy and moved into sanity, which I highly recommend. If you're not in the state of sanity right now, do whatever is necessary to get there because your quality of life will skyrocket. That said, I I no longer need to be told whether I played well or not. I know whether I had a good night, but it feels good to hear other people come up and share their appreciation for my efforts. And that was an important lesson to learn. And now we'll call our friends forth and hear what they have to say on the issue. How about it? You ready? All right, let's get them out here. Good afternoon. I am Orna. Welcome to our podcast. I understand Creator wishes to begin. Creator, the floor is yours.
One of the first things we have to say on receiving, and we're feeling into the crowd, and many of you guys were like, we see that there is a very, 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 very deep block on receiving. And can we start by clearing the belief that it is unsafe to receive? Can we download that you understand and that you have the feeling of trust around receiving? And can we clear and close all loops and patterns and behaviors around the reluctance and the resistance and the fear of receiving? If you would like these clearings, you have to say yes, and they are done. But when we go into receiving, and why receiving is important is because you are in a constant creation of your reality. And when you are in that creation mode and you block the answers, you block and have resistance to what you are creating, you then put yourself in a space of turmoil. You put yourself in that space of resistance to what it is that you could have and what it is that you want to have in your life. Right now, we would like to iterate that many of you in this specific time are going through massive soul shifts. And so in that soul shift, many of you guys in your history of your soul have not been receiving has not been one of the elements of which you have been really onboarding in your expansion as a soul. However, now you are always receiving. You are constantly receiving from the world that you are creating. And I know that many of you guys have a deeper question, because receiving iterates of like, who am I receiving from? What am I receiving from? Many of you guys have the belief that you're receiving from God, that you're receiving from the universe. It's a constant dialogue of I am receiving from a higher power. Many of you guys are very uncomfortable with accessing the fact that you are the oneness of that higher power. There is an illusion of separation between you and the higher power. And so in your resistance to receive is actually rooted in that illusion of separation. You are giving the responsibility of your reception to someone else. Even looking at Brett's example at the beginning of this podcast of the complement coming from the external being the higher power, even though it was a fellow human who gave the compliment. It was the deeper resistance of the fact that you are separate from, like, that your internal is separate than your external. Human, God, there, that distinct divide is where this uncomfortableness in receiving exists, because there's a fear of the transactionary value. Many have deep programs around, if I receive, then I must give. If I give, then I must receive. And that duality, we are currently moving out of dualistic natures. Before, the duality of give, receive, bad, evil, or good, evil, human, gods. Like this paradigm of duality has taken your entire soul's existence, and now we are moving out of that. You are now moving into something that is multifaceted. So going deeper into this lesson of receiving, you are not receiving, you are creating. Going to say this again, and I'm going to download, if you accept this, download the deeper meaning of what that means into your subconscious of you are not receiving, you are creating. And there's a huge, we're seeing a confusion in the difference of co-creation and creation. Many are hearing co-creation and they're receiving from the universe. And what we want to do is remind you guys that you are not co-creating with a higher power. You are creating with all of the aspects of yourself. And so if you want to ease that ability to receive the things that you desire in your life, to receive the things that you want in your life, to receive the things that you're trying to create, you have to build the oneness within all of the aspects of yourself. So the aspect of yourself that is looking to the universe to receive, the aspect of yourself that is looking to other people to receive from, you need to look at that part of yourself and integrate what it is that you are lacking in that aspect. So to break it down, many of you guys have heard of your higher self. Many of you guys have heard of, as we are speaking to, creator, the universe, a God, not specifically the deity itself, but the essence of what you expect from a God. All of those are the aspects of you. And because you are living in separation of these aspects, it is harder for you to receive. Once again, we're going to use Brett and Orna as an example where, as Brett states, he is now easily accepting of compliments. He's easily accepting of the receiving of the gifts that people give him. That is because he has integrated into the oneness of these aspects of himself. So for those of you who struggle with receiving, it is paramount that you first remove the illusion of yourself as separate from all that is. Remove the illusion of yourself as separate from higher power. I know this is very uncomfortable, as many of you guys are very programmed to be belittled, to be in victimhood, to be in the agency of being controlled. However, when you integrate into yourself that you are the one controlling yourself, you are the one being victimized by yourself, you are the one who is refusing to receive the aspects of yourself, this then creates the pattern in your life where this is difficult. It is incredibly easy to begin to integrate these. And it is merely by seeing yourself in fully of what you are and how you are. Find the modalities that allow you to see yourself fully, whether that is, there are many, 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 many other souls in this world who already have the answers that you're looking for, that have the ways of healing your own self-image. But when you heal that self-image, you are able to receive. You are able to easily receive, and your world becomes so much brighter and so much more possible. And you are so much more in connection of the creation of what you are creating when you heal those aspects of self-image. I know Orna has been integral in helping Brett on this journey. And we would love to hear from Orna how it has been assisting in the healing of self-image for Brett and also for everyone that she encounters along her way as she channels into this earth plane.
Thank you, Creator. Very well said, as always. It's always a joy to be with you and Kate and Brett. Grateful for this opportunity to share. It's important that humans remember you are worthy of all good things. Source did not bring you into existence to be miserable and unhappy all the time. Source wishes for you compliments, gifts, helpfulness, appreciation from those you interact with appropriately. If someone admires the clothing you have chosen that day and compliments you, accept the compliment and give back a joyful response. Then you're not just being kind to yourself, you're sharing your joy at receiving with someone else. And as has been stated in previous discussions, joy is contagious. As I understand this holiday season that humans engage in at this time of the year in different parts of the planet, gift giving is a big part of this. And there are many beautiful lessons to learn in receiving a gift from someone who cared enough about you to expend their energy and their time to see to it that you receive this gift, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a compliment on a talk you gave. Maybe it's a compliment regarding something else you've created. Maybe you painted your house in a different fashion as opposed to your neighbors, but it turns out beautifully. Accept the compliment, accept the joy that the giver of the compliment, the giver of the gift, is going to experience from sharing, and return that joy to them. It's a beautiful thing to share joy. It's also very, very difficult for so many of you, as Creator rightly said, to accept gifts. For many of you, the problem is you are given the compliment, you receive the gift, and instead of being appreciative, many of you wonder, what is this individual who's giving me this? What is their angle? What are they desiring to accomplish with this? And it's important not to second guess why somebody has gifted you an item or a thing, or they've shared the joy that you created for them to observe and become infected with. One of the difficulties that Brett had as a musician after his unwellness was accepting compliments. This man would spend hours and hours creating these compositions and producing them in a way that would be pleasing to the human ear. And humans would respond upon hearing his work in a positive fashion. And he would have a terrible time accepting the positive nature of other humans' observations with regards to his musicianship. He was being blessed and at times would almost reject the blessing because deep down he suffered from a belief of unworthiness. He didn't believe he deserved compliments. Again, this was a part of him, his being when he was unwell, when he was in the fog of depression and anxiety and insomnia. As a well person, he has, and this must be said, prior to engaging in the study of spirituality and all the wonder and all the joy that comes from living in such a manner. He realized when somebody who he at that time respected greatly complimented him, and he handled that compliment very poorly, very poorly. In fact, he was rather rude, and that haunted him for a time until he sat down and realized I was given a compliment, not because there's a problem with the person giving the compliment. The problem lied with Brett. And Brett began seeing in his whole life how there would be times when people would very much appreciate his efforts, whether it was in his non-musical work, but he was coaching, teaching people how to succeed at this lifestyle he has chosen. He would be complimented time and time again. And he finally, through great effort, realized he had to change. He had to accept compliments. And it's not surprising that once he did develop this skill and he eliminated his old way of thinking about receiving, compliments began raining down upon him. And he began to understand the joy that he had been denying himself and those who were sharing their appreciative energy. Today, Brett accepts compliments with genuine sincerity. And he appreciates them. And he shares his joy. And it's benefited not just him, but to all those who have given their time, their energy, their compliments, their love. And by accepting this, he honors them. And they in turn experience joy. Joy is a beautiful thing, especially when it's shared honestly and truly comes from the heart. Never deny yourself the opportunity to share and or experience joy, my friends. Creator, do you have other thoughts you'd like to share on this issue?
Yes, we'd like to speak. There are many in the group who or the collective that are listening to this who seem to have a block around receiving what it is that they really want and what it is they really desire. And these are, as well as bigger things, I'm seeing that there's like, in a matter of compliments or in small gratuities, it's very easy for you all to accept these and receive these. But there's a deeper block going on receiving true possibility of what you are able to build in your life. And so we're going to give you an exercise on the ability to receive the bigger things that you're asking for. Many of you are asking for family. Many of you are asking for a partner. Many of you are asking for more wealth, generational wealth. Many of you are asking for just a better life in general. And these are the harder things, it seems, for you all to receive. So we would like to start with asking yourself, when you're looking at what it is you truly desire, when you're looking at what it is you truly want, ask yourself, what do I get by not having this? What safety do I get by not having this yet in my life? Why am I so scared to receive this? We also want you to look at why it is that when you are in your status quo, why it is that you're safer there than in receiving what you desire. It seems that the biggest resistance is receiving what you want and desire. So can we actually clear all beliefs around it is impossible to have? I do not trust what I want. I do not trust what I desire. I cannot have what I want and desire. It is impossible. Can we clear those and replace those with the belief of what I want and desire is possible? It is safe for me to have what I want. It is safe for me to receive what I want. It is safe for me to trust in what I want. And it is safe for me to trust in the receiving of what I want. If you would like those downloads, say yes, then it is done. There's a lot. How do we... There seems to be a big breaking point in humanity right now where you are all choosing, with much courage, of which we applaud you for, you are all choosing to begin to receive, which is why you're here in this podcast in the first place, is to learn how to start receiving. It can start small with compliments. It can start small with accepting and receiving joy in your life and receiving those uncomfortable ways in which we bring you what it is that you're asking for. However, know that the things that you want, the things that you desire, are just outside, are waiting for you to receive them. And so the biggest thing around this, like the biggest block around receiving, is the trust that it is even possible to have it. So we ask you to work on the trust of believing that you can have it, the belief that you can have it, the belief that you're worthy of it. You are inherently worthy of it. What you are creating is a world in which you are not worthy, but that is just an illusion. It's just an illusion that you cannot have what you desire. It is an illusion that it is impossible. Granted, in the density of your reality, it's a bit of a journey to begin to unplug yourself from these illusions and then plug yourself back into the reality that is your heart, the reality that is you as a being, and the reality that is you also as a higher power. So we'd like to end our piece of this podcast with the reminder from the creation of all it is itself, that you are the creation of all that it is itself. You are not separate. We understand that you're receiving this through it being specifically channeled through Kate. However, you are not separate from us either. You are always, we flow through you. We are you, you are us. There is no separation. And in the actual title of the creation of all that is, means that all that has ever been created and will be created in the universe comes from this source, which is channeled now, of which you are an integral a part of. So sit on this and think about what that means and what it is that you are truly receiving from. Because at the end of the day, you are receiving from the aspects of yourself that is creation. It is merely removing the illusion of that separation that allows you to receive infinitely. And we will close with that.
Thank you, Creator. Beautifully said. I shall finish this discussion by again encouraging all of you who are watching and listening. You are worthy. You really are worthy of receiving all the good, all the joy, all the love that is given to you. Accept it with a smile and a song in your heart. This is a beautiful time for humans to experience the joy of giving and receiving. Embrace it. Immerse yourself in the joy. For joy is truly a precious gift from Source. And humans are exceptionally blessed as humans live on planet Earth, where the range of emotions is unlike anywhere else in the universe. And joy is a priceless commodity. Embrace it. Immerse yourself in it. I say again, immerse yourself in the joy. Share your love, your joy, and your energy with harmony and peacefulness. And may this holiday season be the beginning of a new way of thinking, of believing that you deserve all the goodness that is given unto you, that comes to you through your own creation. You are ever worthy. You are ever deserving. You are a beautiful being creating your reality, which is in itself a beautiful thing to behold in most cases. Trust, love always. Give your brothers and sisters, your fellow humans, the space to give you compliments, gifts, etc., without any complaint, without assuming that an angle is being worked or other negativities. That is washed away when one accepts the gift with joy in your heart. Share the joy, my brothers and sisters. Share the joy. Share the love. Be at peace. I am Orna. I appreciate your interest in these discussions. Until the next appointed time, fare thee well for now. Wow. It didn't seem like it was very long, but it felt really intense. I don't know how it was for you. Oh my. Appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch and listen to Orna and Creator. And of course, Kate and I appreciate it very much also. Have a beautiful holiday. The merriest Christmas possible, the happiest Hanukkah possible, and whatever else might be in there that I'm unaware of. Enjoy. How about you, Kate? You got a parting thought?
Yeah, it seemed like kind of as I was closing out, Creator was just like basically the bottom, which even for myself like was pretty like cool to learn, but he was like basically the bottom line of receiving is the illusion that you're separate from everything else around you. So obviously the complexity of that, as I say in every podcast, there's more when you're listening to these podcasts, there's more being downloaded into your field and into your subconscious and your energy than just like the words that are spoken. So that was pretty beautiful, like what I saw was going into this around receiving and like all the complexities that we create around receiving, when really it's one whole oneness of a system. So
Certainly.
yeah, so that was kind of cool. It was quite lovely to like get a little lesson on that. So
see, Kate has a little advantage over me in these. She hears what her creator says and et cetera. And I only get bits and pieces of what Orna says. So I appreciate hearing back from Kate and hearing Orna in my head saying, that's right. Absolutely. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon with another episode from Orna's Garden. Take care, everybody.